Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say.
Hello, Bonjour Sanwanani. Welcome to Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, more especially under these circumstances. So this network has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. I am Dr. Riel Ngunen, and I'm going to be your host for today. So if you're watching us online, please feel free to drop in the chat box where you're watching us from and what you hope to gain from our podcast. Today, we are surrounded by greatness in the World Wide Web. We have amazing speakers who's going to share some nuggets on how to actually rise to greater heights. So in North Carolina, we have Stacy Page. And in Seattle, Washington State, we have Dr. Katrin Daly. And in New York, we have Carol Podell. So at this moment, I'm just going to let our speakers to introduce themselves. You can go ahead, Stacy.
Hey everyone, I'm Stacy Page. I am a yoga instructor and a spiritual life coach. In my life, I've been through a lot of stuff, and I found this path of spiritual life coaching and being a yoga instructor on my healing journey. When I discovered that I was not my stuff and that I got to choose how I was going to let my stuff define me. And was I going to let it keep me down and beat me down, or was I going to use it as a catalyst to rise up into my power, into my purpose? And now I love working with people and sharing with people who are similarly aligned, who are on similar journeys of transformation and growth.
Oh, wow. It's such an honor to have you, like all those different hats. Really, today we're going to gain a lot from you. It's an honor to have you, Stacy, and I'm looking forward to hear more of your message.
So happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes. You can go ahead, Dr. Daly, and please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. So my perspective is as a naturopathic physician, and I specialize particularly in sleep and that mental health connection. After decades of patient care, I recently created some courses where people can learn to sleep well, because sleep really fuels our life in so many ways. It gives us energy. It helps manage physical health complaints like diabetes, high blood pressure, etc. And then it it spills over into mental health and helps us feel calm, helps us have good emotional intelligence because, relationships are so important to our overall health, to our enjoyment of life, to our mental health. And if we're not sleeping well, we just do not have good emotional intelligence to be aware and manage our own emotions and also to respond appropriately to people in our lives. So that's my mission, is really to uplift sleep skills in people around the world, because a lot of sleep really depends on our behaviors. And fortunately, we can control our behaviors, and that empowers us.
Oh, wow. What an honor, Dr. Daly. Really, your message is much needed. We need sleep. We need to rest this body so that it's going to be able to carry us throughout the whole week, the whole month, the whole year. We need to get enough sleep. What an honor and a privilege to have you. And I'm looking forward to hear more of your message. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can go ahead, Carol, and please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Carol Podell. Dr. Darley, we're going to talk later because I have a 6-year-old and I'm in desperate need all the time. As I said, I'm Carol Podell. I'm a life transition strategist. I'm the host of a podcast called She Takes the Lead. I am a very proud single mom by choice. I empower women to go from being stuck to unstuck, to becoming unstoppable. I give them the tools to be able to move through their beholdenness to helping them become who they need to become. They're busy taking care of everybody, working through all of taking care of their children or taking care of their spouse or taking care of their job or taking care of everybody. And at some point we forget that we are here to live our own lives and to take care of ourselves. And I help women to find a way into that next chapter that they're looking for while prioritizing themselves and becoming intentional around how they move through their next chapter, how they get to their next chapter without having a emotional crisis or without needing a spiritual awakening, just getting there, moving to their next chapter with intention and joy.
Wow, what an honor. Really, we need someone like you who's going to hold us accountable for our own action on how we can actually maintain the work-life balance, family life balance. We just need someone like you. It's an honor to have you, Carol, and I'm looking forward to hear more of your message.
Thank you.
So, Stacy, I have a question for you. If you happen to have your own billboard, I can see your billboard coming down there in the busy highway in North Carolina. What will your billboard say?
So my billboard, it would be a picture of me walking on a path in nature. So surrounded by, similar to this, surrounded by trees and surrounded by greenery. I would have a shining, beautiful lake next to me. My 2 dogs would be with me running around, and it would say, "Your life, your way, one inspired step at a time."
Your life, your way, and one what?
One inspired step at a time.
Uninspired.
So moving with inspired action versus throwing stuff up against the wall, trying to see what sticks, which leads us to burnout. It's when we're connected to our truth within, we get the nudges, and our path just unfolds in front of us.
Wow, I love that. Actually, we already have your billboard, because right now your background is just showing us all that. That's all we need.
At the lake, the dogs are outside, hopefully being quiet, and we're good.
Wow, I just love it. One inspired step at a time. Your life, your way, one inspired step at a time. Wow, what a profound billboard, because really we are the ones in charge of our own lives. We are the one in charge of our own destinies. It starts with us, just taking that inspired step at a time, and then you will head the right direction. What a profound billboard. Wow, how about you, Dr. Daly? Maybe your billboard is already down there in Seattle. I don't know. What will your billboard say?
Mine would say, you got this. And it would have someone sleeping peacefully, and then the transition to their day of really nice interactions with people and feeling energetic, like the person who you can just tell is well rested. That's what my billboard would be about. And yeah, that's a really great question. I have never been asked that. I think, sleep is so foundational and it's universal. That's the thing that I love about sleep, is that each one of us has our sleep story. And, for many people, it's something that they think about and they work on having the sleep story that they want to have, and skills will get you there. So that would be what my billboard's about.
Oh, wow. Wow. You've got this because sleep is necessary. Sleep is needed. You've got this. I love it. I love it. So how about you, Carol? I don't know. Maybe, your billboard is already down there. We don't know. What is it?
It's in Times Square. It's really big and loud in the middle of all the chaos in the middle of New York City. And it says, the words on it are, a decision is not a decision until it's turned into action. And it would be a picture of me with my 6-year-old over here and my 2 octogenarian parents that I take care of over here, and my 11-year-old little Maltese Shih Tzu over here, and all the New York bustle and everything over here, and a cup of coffee right there, and me grabbing it, but
Oh,
not
wow.
quite touching it, and waiting, just about to touch it, because I don't believe that I believe the only way for us to move forward is to genuinely get into action. But when we spend so much time in our heads, deciding, and poking holes into, we haven't actually taken that step to make the decision until we actually get the coffee and take it. Thinking about it is it. And that is my billboard.
Wow, a decision is not a decision until you take action.
Yep.
We'll have to take action. Yes, we can dream about what we want to do in the next 6 months, but if we don't take action, it just remains just that dream. It's not going to become a reality. So a decision is not a decision without taking action. So I believe my billboard will be the fourth billboard driving down the highway, and it's going to say what? The sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view, and it's definitely coming. We're all gonna rise to greater heights. So we're gonna get started. We're flying all the way to North Carolina, where we have Stacy Page. Stacy Page is a former New York City event planner to the elite, and then turned to spiritual life coach and yoga instructor. She believes that we are the architects of our own lives, and it is up to us to design our life in the way we truly want. Her approach combines the wisdom of spiritual law with practical, actionable steps to help her clients live in alignment with their highest potential. Through her coaching classes, workshops, and online courses, she has helped thousands of people break free from self-limiting beliefs, heal unprocessed pain and trauma, and embody spiritual principles as well as practices that facilitate growth and transformation. Stacy's teachings are rooted in the understanding that we are powerful beyond measure, and create our own lives from the inside out. So when we move within and dismantle what is holding us back, we free ourselves to live fully, intentionally, and create meaningful lives of our design that are filled with love, joy, peace, and abundance. So Stacy currently resides in Raleigh, North Carolina, with her husband, their adopted dogs, cats, and fish, where she continues to inspire and empower others to live their best lives. So, kings and queens, please join me and welcome Stacy Page.
Thank you so much. So today I am going to be talking about emotional intelligence. So the other day when I was triggered and I was angry, all those things that I said, spot on. Or That purchase that I made, that high dollar purchase that I put on my credit card and I'm going to be paying off for a long time to come, plus interest, that purchase that I made when I was so bought in to the feelings that the salesperson was with the picture that the salesperson was painting for me of how I was going to feel when I owned it. Great choice. Said no one ever, right? Our emotions are powerful, and we get to choose if we are going to use them constructively or destructively. When we allow our emotions to sit in the driver's seat and take the wheel, they tend to bring us down a path of destruction, of remorse, of regret. But when we sit in the driver's seat and we take the wheel and we put our emotions in the passenger seat and we utilize them as our co-pilots and our navigators, now we are on the path of our highest potential. We are on the path of manifesting our goals and our dreams and our vision. And I'm going to speak to that in just a moment. But first, I just want to mention one basic but often overlooked truth. And that is that we are not our emotions. It often feels that way, but we're not. We feel them, we experience them, but we're not them. And it's really important to note that differentiation so that we are not unconsciously being controlled by our emotions, so that they are not weighing us down, creating both mental and physical dis-ease. So my journey into understanding emotional intelligence and working with the wisdom of our emotions began back when I was in my 20s. At that time, I had absolutely no tools. I had no tools with which to deal with all that had gone on in my life, all that was going on in my life, from family to sexual abuse to high stress. So at that point, I was in workaholic mode. That was my coping mechanism. I was working 80 to 90 to 100 hours a week. When I wasn't working, I was partying hard. I was abusing food. My relationships were dysfunctional. And one day, my body just gave out, could not lift my body out of bed. That began a series of months and months and months and months of tests. Blood tests and bone marrow tests and MRIs and every other test under the sun, all coming back showing absolutely nothing wrong. Doctors gave up and something in me awakened. That spark within just began to shine. So I began pursuing alternative therapies. The first thing that really helped me was acupuncture. Acupuncture began moving some of that energy and some of that emotion that was stuck in my body, and it gave me a little bit of space. From there, shortly thereafter, I found my way into yoga. And that was where my healing journey really took off. Because yoga, just by the nature of being yoga, it lifts our emotions that are trapped within our body. It lifts them and frees them. So my shame, my grief, my guilt, my frustration all began to rise up. I would leave class one day raging angry. Another day, I am crying my eyes out. Another day, I'm mortified with shame. I sat with my emotions, I felt them, and I brought them into my meditation and into my journal, and I got from them the information that they had for me. Our emotions are our messengers, and they can be and are some of our greatest teachers. So anger might be pointing to us a personal boundary that is either being violated or disrespected, or maybe we're not clear on that boundary. We need to get some clarity of that boundary for ourselves. Envy can just simply be showing us something that we also want to manifest in our life. Frustration and jealousy could be pointing us to a self-limiting belief that we're holding that's keeping us back from manifesting what it is that we want in our life. Joy and excitement could be pointing us to our purpose and things that we want to experience more of. So we need to do what we call processing our emotions, which means that we sit with our emotions, we develop that capacity to be with it and to feel it. And then we take it, we get the information that it has for us, and then we let it go. When we don't let our emotions go, when we don't process them, get the information, and then let them go, they don't disappear. They lock down into our body. They create that mental and physical dis-ease, and they also lower our vibration, which is critical because our vibration is it's our manifesting power. We don't manifest what we want. We manifest what we are a vibrational match to. So all the pain that we carry, the grief, the shame, and everything else that's in our body, that energy is resonating out forth from us. It becomes the lens through which we see the world, and then it magnetizes experience that match that internal frequency. So, for example, shame. When we're carrying shame, that often leads us into environments and relationships where we feel unseen, unworthy. Um, um, there was one more that I wanted to say with that. Unseen, unworthy, judged, right? Because we're mirroring a belief that we are not enough. We may find ourselves over apologizing, shrinking back from being seen or sabotaging opportunities because we have this subconscious fear that we're going to be exposed, that we're going to be caught, that we're going to be found out. Resentment, on the other hand, can keep us locked in patterns of conflict or power struggles. We may feel that we are stuck while we're watching others rise and thrive. Or we may find that we are continually being let down by people, which is reinforcing a belief that we can't trust anyone. So this emotional energy shapes the way in which we interact with the world, and therefore the way that the world is reflecting back to us. So this is where emotional intelligence becomes a really powerful shifting point. When we develop that awareness and then develop the capacity to sit with the emotions and get the information, now we are stepping into our power. Now we're putting ourselves in the driver's seat, we're taking the wheel, and we are putting ourselves on the road of our highest potential of manifesting our goals and our dreams and our vision, conscious alignment. So what I want to do, I really want to do a practical experience, a meditative practical experience, so that all these things that I'm talking about, we can really begin to embody and experience them. So I'm going to invite everybody to get comfortable in their seat. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. And if closing your eyes doesn't feel good for you, just soften your gaze towards the floor. Allow your hands to rest, your shoulders to drop, and your jaw to unclench. Let's take a slow, deep breath in and a long, grounding exhalation. And let's just do that one more time. Full breath in. Exhale, letting yourself land fully in your body. Feel the support beneath you. And just observe your breath as it moves in your body and out. Allowing that attention to your breath to keep your awareness within as we move into our emotional landscape. Now ask yourself, without judgment, what am I feeling right now? You don't need to name it perfectly. You may feel more than one thing or a mix of sensations. So just notice with curiosity. Now, where in your body do you feel this emotion? Bring your attention to that area. Is it tight, warm, heavy, tingly, or something else? Direct your breath into that space. See if you can guide your breath into that feeling, allowing that feeling to soften, free, and open. Now imagine that this emotion could speak. What would it say? Let it tell you what it wants you to know. Maybe protecting you, perhaps pointing to a boundary, showing you a dream you've outgrown or a desire you're ready to claim. Whatever arises, just listening. Now say to yourself silently, I hear you. I feel you. I'm here. Let this be enough. There's no need to rush past it or push it down. Just sit for a moment with the feeling, with the messages. Each breath allows space around the emotion. Let it move. Let it shift. Releasing any grip you may be holding on it. Take one more deep breath into that space. And as you exhale, imagine releasing anything you no longer need. Let the heaviness go, let the tightness soften, and say silently to yourself, I am not my emotions. I am the one who feels them, learns from them, and lets them go. And again, say to yourself, I am safe to feel. I am free to heal. As we develop the capacity to be with our emotions without judgment and get the messages they have for us, you move from unconscious patterns to conscious power. You start choosing relationships, opportunities, and actions that reflect your worth, not your wounds. You stop reacting from the past and instead creating from the present. And that is where your freedom lives. Feel your breath. Feel your body. Feel your power. And now you can begin to make your way back when you're ready, deepening your breath. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. You can stretch anything if it feels good. And when you're ready, there's no rush. You can gently open up your eyes. So our emotions are always available for us to utilize as messengers for conscious manifestation, to utilize as our co-pilots, to help us to discover our purpose, what we want more of, and what's in the way of us getting that. Well, actually, I'm out of time, so I'm not going to talk about that. If this resonates with you, I invite you to check out stacypage.com. I have a lot of free resources on there. I have some self-paced courses that talk about emotional intelligence, aligning our mind with our emotional energy, with our inspired action, as well as one-on-one coaching options for anybody who wants a little bit more of a hands-on approach. Thank you so much, everybody. Namaste.
Wow. Wow, Stacey. Thank you so much for helping us to connect with our own mind, body, and soul. Really, we just needed this. And also to connect with our emotions, as you're touching on emotional intelligence. You've mentioned that emotions, they have so much information for us. They often point to deep wounds or self-limiting beliefs, and they also inform us of what we really want and what we don't want. And they can also, it can be also a key to leading us to build purposeful, meaningful lives of our own design. And we will have to allow our emotions. We'll have to express, we must process our own emotions the way you've just said it. Thank you so much, Stacey, for sharing such a profound, much needed message around emotional intelligence, because really being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes is key, so that you will understand what they are going through, what they are experiencing, and how you can actually help through those emotions. Wow, what a profound, much needed message. Thank you so much, Stacey.
Thank you.
So from North Carolina to Washington State, where we have Dr. Catherine Daly. Dr. Catherine Daly is the leader in natural sleep medicine. She combines her knowledge of sleep and circadian disorders with her training as a naturopathic physician to bridge these two fields. She's treated patients for over 20 years, along with training healthcare providers in sleep medicine. So Dr. Daly now focuses on teaching people the sleep skills they need to thrive at home, at work, and have high quality of life. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Dr. Catherine Daly.
Thank you, everybody. I'm really glad to be here. Thanks, Dr. Reel, for bringing us all together today. I'm really inspired already. So sleep, as we said, sleep is universal, but unfortunately, good sleep is far from universal. I'm sure you all have heard people complain about sleep. Maybe you have complained. It's really common as people are coming into the workplace to say, "Hey, how did you sleep last night?" Or make comments of, "You look like you didn't sleep very well last night." And we know that it's about 1 in 3 people who have sleep problems. And that's a high number, right? Unfortunately, and unfortunately, some of the solutions are in our control. And this is something I wish was covered in our high school health classes. You know, there's not a unit on sleep health. There's usually a unit on nutrition and there's a unit on exercise. Those are also part of our foundational stool. I think about our health foundation as a 3-legged stool. You've got nutrition, movement, and sleep. But oftentimes the sleep part is gone. And just think how unstable a 2-legged stool would be. It'd be a constant balancing act. And that's what people are doing with their health, with their mental health, because they don't have that third component of sleep. So that's what my mission is really to help people get that piece of the foundation in place. So I think about sleep in terms of 3 different areas that you want to make sure are taken care of. One is sleep quantity, just simply having the number of hours of sleep that you need. I'll talk more about that because that is a really common difficulty for people, is just getting enough hours in bed to get the sleep that they need. Then there's the timing of it, and that's all about our circadian rhythm and our body clock. And then the third piece is sleep disorders. Do you have insomnia? Do you have obstructive sleep apnea? So I'm going to talk more in depth on those 3 areas in a minute, but I want to first talk a little bit more about, why does this even matter? Why do we even care if people are getting enough sleep? And really, sleep impacts us in many, many different ways. I think about them as 5 different categories. And if you're listening to this, I'd love to hear you in the chat or, take a note for yourself. Like, what of these 5 areas are you seeing the connection between your sleep and your wellness? The first one is our physical health, and that's for anybody who has any type of medical condition, whether it's diabetes or high blood pressure or obesity or arthritis. All of those and many more very common conditions are going to be worse when you're not getting adequate sleep. And some of those can also have this feed forward situation where if you're not sleeping well, it's going to contribute to obesity, and obesity is going to contribute to some sleep disorders that further deteriorate your sleep. So you'll get into this negative feedback loop. Then there's mental health, and this is really important. And I loved what Stacy said about emotional health and emotional intelligence. I mentioned that a little bit earlier, so I'm not going to dwell on that now. But also for anybody who's experiencing anxiety, anxiety is definitely going to be worse when you're not getting enough sleep. And in turn, anxiety and just in that being in that state of hypervigilance is going to make it more difficult to sleep. So if you're managing your anxiety well during the day, you're likely going to be able to sleep better. And if you're sleeping better, your anxiety is going to improve. So you're going to get into this positive feed forward where things are getting better, getting better. So that's physical health, mental health. The next one is performance. A lot of us, we really want to do our best. We want to do our best in the job. We want to do the best that we can with our physical performance, enjoy some movement, some coordination. Maybe we have a job that requires us to be physically coordinated. Think construction workers or anyone in manufacturing. You want to be performing well physically. Anybody who drives, if you're not sleeping well, you're at risk of poor driving decisions. So there's the physical performance, and then there's the cognitive performance. And think about cognitive performance in this spectrum, everything from simple memory, remembering, oh, I've got a podcast this morning, right? To really complex problem solving. I've got, 10 or 15 minutes to talk about sleep and give you guys some good tips in my whole world of understanding of sleep. What things are going to be most useful for you in this moment, and where can I focus? That is a creative problem solving. And we all have all of those needs, right? So any of those can be impacted when we're not getting adequate sleep. Then that last piece, the 5th domain that is really impacted, is emotional intelligence. And this is a really interesting growing area of understanding. I'll give you one little example. If I'm sleep deprived and I walk into my workplace and I look at my coworker, I'm not going to be able to tell, maybe not my coworker, maybe my boss. We should talk about walking in and looking at your boss. I'm not going to be able to tell if my boss is happy or angry because I'm sleep deprived. I'm missing those cues. My emotional intelligence is muted and I'm not able to tell. If your boss looks angry, you probably need to respond to them and speak to them a little bit differently than if they look happy, right? And think about all the many times that we walk into a situation, and if we're well rested, we immediately get a read. We can tell, we can modulate our behavior. If we're not well rested, we're going to miss those cues. So that's some of the ways that sleep impacts our well-being and is really important. Next, I'd want to talk just briefly about the scope of sleep disorders. It is, or sleep problems, I should say. 35% of Americans are not getting adequate sleep. And if you look at all of the different sleep disorders, the number of sleep disorders is probably going to surprise you. There's 58 sleep disorders. Usually people think insomnia, obstructive sleep apnea, restless legs, maybe nightmares, a few others, but yeah, 58 sleep disorders. And in total, it's about a third of us have those sleep disorders of different kinds. So it's not only inadequate sleep, it's the sleep disorders that also are hurting us. So let's talk about what we can do about this as individuals who are really taking good care of ourselves in many ways. Sleep is just one additional part to add to our overall well-being. So I think about it in these three ways: the sleep total, timing, and then sleep disorders. Let's talk about sleep total first. Typically, adults need somewhere between 7 and 9 hours, but that's going to be really individual. So, what we want to think about and identify for yourself is how much sleep do you do best with? Often, when I ask a person that, they'll say, oh, well, I can get by on X amount of sleep. I'm not really interested in how much sleep you can get by on because you're probably overly familiar with that number. I want to know how much sleep makes you feel at the top of your game. You know, you are emotionally intelligent and tuned in, you're driving safe and alert, you're at like peak performance with your cognitive skills. You know, what makes you feel really great? And this is a bell curve. So some people are going to be fine with 7.5 hours. Some people need 9. And think about it in terms of any characteristic that people just are given. That is not something they choose. It's not a sign of laziness. It's just like being a little taller than average, or just needing a little more sleep than average, and getting that number. So if you're listening, think back to a time that you were really well rested, and how much sleep were you getting at that point? That should be the goal for most nights. The second piece is the timing. Are you a morning person? Are you a night person? Are you middle of the road? And we think that about a third of us fit into each of those categories. And are you able to design your lifestyle to fit that? You know, if you are strongly a morning person, having a night shift or evening shift job is probably not the best fit for you. And likewise for people who are night owls, if they have to get up at 7 when they usually would sleep till 9, they're likely going to have real difficulty getting enough sleep at night because they're just not going to be tired at that time that they need to go to bed. And then they're going to have difficulty getting up in the morning. And, you know, we see teenagers, they're a perfect example of being night owls. And it's nothing about the teens being lazy or being on social media too late. It's just their body clock. And we've seen this throughout time and around the world, even in modern day cultures where they don't have electronics, they don't have electricity. We see the teenagers are the ones who stay up later. And there's some adults who are more night owls that we need to really honor their body clock. So think about that. And some of the things that really help us stay on track with our circadian rhythm is having regularity in our habits. And a lot of that is about light. We want to make sure that when we wake up and start our day, we have some time outside, really getting that light that signals to our body, okay, it is daytime, time to be active, time to get going. Then throughout the day, we want to get bursts of light, 10 minutes every 2 hours, and just really stay synchronized with our natural environment. And then in the last 2 hours before bed, I'm sure many of you have heard about this. I often have people say, well, I didn't do it because I didn't think it could make that big of a difference. It really does make a difference. You know what I'm going to say is turning down the lights, turning off your electronics. If you feel like you have to be on electronics in those 2 hours before bed, wearing the blue blocking goggles or glasses really makes a difference. We want to have those sunset-like colors in our vision in those 2 hours before bed, because those yellowish reddish hues signal to our body it is nighttime, time to switch into sleep mode. And if you look at our bodies when we're awake, when we're asleep, they really operate differently in terms of when we're asleep, our heart rate is lower, our hormone patterns change, all of these shifts happen, and it's sunset that triggers those changes. So we want to have that sunset experience, even if we're home watching TV by wearing those blue blocking glasses. Then the last piece is getting evaluated for sleep problems. If you're doing some kind of all of these recommendations that you're getting from me, from other people about sleep healthy lifestyle strategies, and you're doing all the things for a month or so and you're just not getting any traction, do get evaluated for a sleep disorder. Unfortunately, as we get older, this is particularly true for women. As we get older, we have an increase in the risk of sleep disorders, particularly obstructive sleep apnea increases significantly for women after menopause, and also restless legs syndrome does. So I hope that these little tidbits helped you. If you're interested in my work, you can find me on social media and Substack at Skilled Sleeper. And then there's a series of courses that I have developed that are customized to different populations. You may see other sleep specialists have a sleep course. I really took it a step further to customize my courses to different people in different lifestyle situations. So there's ones for shift workers. There's one for law enforcement who have particular sleep needs. There's one for women. There's one for families. I think about 9 different demographics, one for athletes that can use sleep to really boost their athletic performance. So check those out at skilledsleeper.com. Thanks.
Oh, wow. Wow, Dr. Daly. I believe everyone needs Dr. Daly right now because really, I've never known that we have actually 58 sleep disorders. That number is really high. It's really high. And wow, you've shared that sleep is essential for mental health and emotional intelligence, and you've kind of guided us on what can we really do now about it. You said we should find out about the sleep total, how much sleep, like if you prefer like to sleep maybe 7 hours, maybe 9 hours, that will make you feel great, and you show up to the world, you still have that energy to continue with your work. And also with the timing, are you a morning person, are you a night owl? Where are you standing? You'll have to know exactly where are you standing. I know like life has just programmed us to be always morning person, just to wake up, get going, but really we'll have to kind of gauge where am I standing. And you've also shared that you have helped your clients to kind of assess them if they happen to have any sleep disorder that maybe we can deal with as individuals. Wow, what a profound, much needed message. I was just taking notes, Dr. Daly, by the way. I was taking notes. I'll go back and watch the replay because we all need this. We just want to show up looking good, feeling fresh each and every day because we got our sleep. We got enough sleep, because yes, sleep is essential for everyone, but the good sleep, the enough sleep that you just need, that's what I need. That's what we need. So thank you so much for sharing such a profound, much needed message. Thank you. So now from Washington State to New York, where we have Carol Podell. Carol Podell is a life transition coach and a mentor, motivational speaker, and the host of the podcast, She Takes the Lead. She's also a fertility warrior and very proud single mom by choice. Carol helps high-achieving, ambitious women navigate major life transitions, empowering them to confidently craft, execute, and embrace their next chapter with intention and joy so that they can fully embody the woman they've always dreamed of becoming. So her diverse 25-year career has taken her from Emmy and Peabody award-winning broadcast producer to vice president in the multi-million-dollar financial services industry. With a twice neurodiverse brain, she learned early on that if she wanted to succeed at anything, her process to get there will need to be of her own design. She nurtured what she now calls her creatively linear thinking to successfully carve out a unique personal and professional path. These hurdles told her that although we must live life on its terms, we do not need to be victims of someone else's circumstances, diagnosis, or bad choices. Our path needs to be straight, but it should be of our own making. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Carol Podell.
Thank you, Dr. Reel. It's so nice to be here. I'm so lucky I got to go last because I got to hear all these wonderful things. I've been taking notes myself on like a piece of paper. The sleep one we'll discuss later. I definitely relate to that. And I need 10, if I'm being honest. I need 10 solid hours of sleep. I learned that a few years ago, and it was almost, I was almost ashamed of it, but it's just the way it is. Thank you, Dr. Reel. I'm really enjoying being on here. As you said, I am Carol Podell. I'm a life transition strategist. I'm the host of a podcast called She Takes the Lead. I, excuse me, born and raised New Yorker, fertility warrior, single mom by choice. And I believe that we can live our lives the way we want to, with intention, with joy, in a way that serves who we are without requiring the crisis to get there, without stopping everybody else from needing us. I believe that we have the power to live our next chapter, to write our next chapter with intention and joy the way we want to, without having to have the emotional crisis. I am also a former recovering people pleaser, and I'm curious in the chat, or later on, who may be a former recovering people pleaser. Raise your hand. And I thank you. Yep, there's always a lot of women, especially. There's a lot of us women out there that are former recovering people pleasers, and I help women to get out of procrastination, get out of that feeling of stuckness, and become unstoppable, become a person who is able to go after what they want. I'm going to just go back because I have 5 strategies that can help you get from stuck to unstoppable. But I want to just go back for a second because I love coffee. I drink coffee. I don't have my cup here. I've already had a cup. I will probably have a cup later. I love coffee. And I'm old enough to remember when Starbucks just opened down the street. The place is still there. I have been ordering the same 2 drinks from Starbucks my entire lifetime of knowing that I love coffee and that Starbucks exists. I go in, and if it's a normal day, I get a coffee with soy milk, and if it's a bad day, I get a soy chai latte with extra hot with whipped cream. Those are the 2 choices that I get, no matter what, right? Somehow, when I walk into that Starbucks and I walk in to go get my coffee, instead of just going to the barista and saying, this is what I want, I go up to the barista and I look up and I look at the menu and I peruse it and see if there's something better out there and see if I'm really making the right decision. And then I look at the barista and I say, am I gonna really show up and make sure that they understand that what I'm ordering means something and what they're doing means something to them? Because I want to make sure that my order is taking care of them as best as humanly possible, right? And I go in and finally I order either my soy chai latte or my coffee with soy milk. And I do this every time. I still do this because I am a people pleaser, because I'm a caretaker, and because I do want to make other people happy, because I am overly, frankly, concerned with making people feel good and feel taken care of. And that is a beautiful thing. I actually am very proud of who I am as that person. The problem is that that stops me from making decisions that are on behalf of myself, that are actually taking care of myself, that are about getting what I want. As I said, I'm a born and raised New Yorker. My parents live in the building. I was an actress and a singer early on, and then I moved into the behind the camera, and I was a television producer. I did everything I was supposed to be doing. I was like highly ambitious. Grew up, I got into a relationship in college, eventually got married. We started trying to have children, and it wasn't working. And admittedly, the marriage wasn't working either. And it started to devolve ultimately. And he was telling me all the reasons that the marriage wasn't working. We were trying to work it out. He was telling me all the reasons the marriage wasn't working. I was telling him all the reasons why I thought the marriage could work. And finally, after, I don't know, like probably a couple of years at this point of me trying to bend and bend and bend and accommodate and communicate that I could be what he needed to be. I could be what the marriage needed to be. And I could be the mother ultimately that I wanted to become. He finally sat down with me and he said, and I don't think I want children. And it was a blow. And I said nothing for a moment. And without thinking, I just said, okay. And he said, okay, what? And I said, okay, you can go. And it was the first decision that I had made in my entire life that was entirely about what I wanted. Had nothing to do with what he wanted, had nothing to do with what even my body was telling me it could or could not do. It was just entirely about what I wanted. And it just for the record, so we're in like reality, it wasn't like, oh, I am woman, hear me roar. It was really like, oh my God, I'm on the floor. But that was the moment. And that was my moment of understanding what it actually felt like to make a decision on behalf of myself without worrying about what anybody else wanted. I wanted a child. It's a huge decision. It's not the decision for everybody. And I didn't even know. I didn't grow up thinking that I was supposed to, nobody was telling me I had to have a kid. Nobody was telling me I had to get married. That wasn't, but it was assumed. And suddenly I made a decision and he left and the marriage ended and I was there by myself and my life no longer supported me. All of the people pleasing and all of the caretaking and all of the accommodating that nobody even knew I was doing. Most people didn't even ask me to do it. It was just me doing it. All of that stuff didn't support me anymore. My job didn't support me anymore. I was working in television overnight in a very fancy job at Good Morning America, but I had to be at work at midnight. I was now needing to date. I was now needing to, go find a dad, I guess. I didn't know. He was the first person I'd ever been with even. And nothing supported me. My personal life didn't support me. My professional life didn't support me. And now I'm standing there and I wanted to have a kid and I wanted to I'm a highly ambitious person. I always have been. I actually think that people pleasers, that procrastinators are highly ambitious, just by the way, because we wouldn't be so frustrated about procrastinating if we weren't highly ambitious. And all of this stuff just didn't work for me. But I had made one decision and I knew what it felt like. And I was so low. I was at such a low in my life that I was like, okay, well, let me try to make another decision. Let me play with this. And I started dating, which was completely new. I hadn't even really dated before I'd met my ex. I started dating. I dated half of Manhattan. Not in a naughty way, just in a trying on shoes way. And I started to play with what I wanted. Little decisions, big decisions, just decisions that were on behalf of me. They weren't stopping me from taking care of my life. They didn't stop me. It's not like I just stopped and was like, I'm no longer doing anything for anybody else. But it gave me the permission to bring myself into the conversation. And over time, I started moving forward over a lot of work, a lot of therapy, a lot of internal work, a lot of, removing a lot of limiting beliefs, understanding who I am. I started finding out what I could do and playing with decisions. And over time, I changed my career. I went from television into financial services, then into consulting. As I said, I dated half of Manhattan. I fell in love with a few men. I, made a bunch of mistakes. I made a bunch of bad choices. I made some great ones. And I wanted a baby. I spent 12 years trying to have her. I spent 12 years, 4 years on fertility straight to try and have her. And over time, I was literally at the point where I had had, multiple miscarriages. I had had multiple failed different variations of IVF, 6 IVF, 4 IUI, 4 straight years of changing everything from my pots and pans to my shower curtains to try and have a baby. And it wasn't happening, but I knew I wanted a child. And to be honest, it wasn't really, it didn't actually matter how that child came to me, but I knew I wanted a child. And I realized that I could do it because I I was there and I knew my choice and I was clear with everything that I needed to do. And I was 14 weeks pregnant when the social worker was doing the home visit to adopt, when I finally ingested that I was pregnant and that I was going to have this child. And God love her, she's 6 years old now. She's my most wonderful thing. And I did all of these things because of one decision that I had made now 15 or 20 years ago. And this is what I'm telling you all of this because this is what I bring to you. Because what I did over time is I have now since reversed engineered what I did to be able to move through all of these chapters. The first one came with a life crisis. The next ones, over time, all of these other changes came over with intention, with pleasure, with mess up, with a life, But they came because I made because I used these strategies, and over time I figured out that these became strategies, and this is what I share. This is what I do for other women is I show you how to strategize these changes so that you can go from where you are to the next chapter that you want to make. The kids are older and now you want to go back to work, or you have a new hobby, or you're in a divorce and now you want to date or you want to do something. And I have these 5 strategies that I'm just going to go through really quick with you, just to tell you what they are. You go through your core values. I work with women all the time now, and we talk about your core values. And how important they are to keep you aligned and clear. Then I talk about your tribe. My tribe is my gold, and I have a very specific strategy around how to create authentic connections and really build your tribe to support you. I work with you on transferable skills and what they really mean, because transferable skills aren't like, oh, well, I can work on Excel and transferable skills are the problems you solved. And especially as women, we problem solve all the time, all day long. We'll go back to the introduction of my billboard, which was one of my favorite questions now, Dr. Real, I'll tell you. A decision is not a decision until it's turned into action. You can think about it, poke holes at it. We are smart people, right? We can poke holes in anything. But the goal is not to poke holes in it. It's to try things out and see what works and what doesn't. You can poke holes into things anywhere, but you can't do any of it until you take action. And then my last piece, which is my favorite, which I love sharing, is it's a practice that I have, that I've created, and it's called relentless optimism. And it's not about being happy all the time. It's not about the smile, and it is about optimizing your life. It is about optimizing every situation that you can possibly, that you're ever in, and finding the best out of it. It is an action, it is a verb to optimize. It means to make whatever is happening as best as it can be. And those are the strategies that I go over with women that I work. I have other strategies, but I wanted to just share these with you today because these are the core pieces to get you from stuck to unstoppable, to get you out of, life happens. I don't know, this week during this it's tax week. That was a busy week for me, if I'm being honest. It didn't stop me. Just you do this and you move forward. This is the power of you. You are not your diagnosis. You are not your sleep deprivation. You are not your emotions. You are you and working towards moving through all of these things. And this is what I do. This is how I serve. I love this work. I do this on my podcast as well, where we talk about how to take the lead in your own life. And we go through this. These are my guests. I have a workbook that I would love to share with you all. It is the 5 steps to go from stuck to unstoppable playbook workbook. You can go to my website. It's completely free. Just please download it. You go carolpodell.com/unstoppable. Please download it, use it how you want. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you on social media. You can also email me at info@carolpodell.com. And I'd love to share more and check out my podcast, which is on all major places where you get your podcasts. She Takes the Lead. You can also go to YouTube and see the people, and all our shiny faces at youtube.com at She Takes the Lead podcast. Thank you so much for having me and letting me speak. I believe in you. I believe that you can do whatever you want. You just need the tools.
Wow. It's just, drop the mic moment. Carol, you've shared from the beginning, like from your billboard. Now you see where your billboard is coming after you've shared your story. A decision is not a decision until you turn it into action, because you've mentioned that pessimism is the root of indecision. You were so determined that, you know what, I need a baby in this world. I don't care whatsoever I'm gonna hear from different voices, but all I need is a baby. And you've never shifted from that focus, because you decided to make a decision on behalf of yourself that will bring you into the conversation, that will bring you into the table, that will dine with you. You've made that decision and you've never lost that focus. And thank you so much for sharing also the strategies. You've shared that in order for you to be able, you've shared about core values. You've shared about core values. These are the strategies that we can apply into our lives, and then build your own tribe. Find your own tribe. I've got my own tribe who's going to hold me accountable for my own actions. And also, we as women, like you've mentioned, we have transferable skills that we can really, really take them anywhere that we just want to go. Those skills are going to take you to your destination. Thank you so much, Carol, for sharing such a profound, much needed message. And then I'm going to ask our audience, what's holding you back? If Carol was able really to stay focused on that goal, she never shifted her mindset, not even a second. She was like, no, this is what I want. I'll definitely go confident in the direction of my dreams. So it's possible. It's possible that you can actually achieve whatsoever you put your mindset in. Wow, what a profound, much needed message. I'm going to go back and watch the replay. Honestly, I've been inspired. I've been moved from all of your messages. And I believe it's the same with our audience. Let me check real quick on our audience online. I can see, Milena, she is saying Castellanos, excellent. I believe that's excellent in Spanish. Wow. And I can see Annalie, she's giving us all the love. And Kumo Africa, he's saying, well done, Dr. Gunani, you are a real and amazing woman. Keep it up, ma. Thank you so much, Kumo. And I can see Stella Goodwill, he's saying that sleeping is necessary. Yes, it is necessary. And Yeni is also saying that sleep is so important, and we sometimes take it for granted. Wow. And Anna is saying that is so true. Princess Sarah is saying that I love coffee too. Oh, wow. And Mariah Cox is saying that, sad to hear that. I believe she was just relating to your situation, Carol. And Benoit, I can see him is giving us all the love, the blue hearts that we need on this podcast. And I can see Lawrence Jenny, she is saying, follow you, baby, follow you. And I believe that our audience really, they've been really inspired. They've been motivated by all of your messages. So to our audience online, if you happen to have any questions to any of the speakers today, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box, and then we're gonna be able to attend to your questions. If you have any questions for Stacy, drop them. If you have any questions for Dr. Daly, drop them. If you have any questions for Carol, please drop them in the chat box, and then we're gonna check on your questions before we end the live. So it's not gonna be a show without me showing up and showing up. So I'm gonna be the next and final speaker. But before I speak, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna share my bio with you, and then I will come back and speak. So please do enjoy. I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on professional development. Really, my goal as a mentor or as a coach, it's so simple. My goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you might be facing, and then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to pursue success and drive sustainable. I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. Mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights.
Dr. Nampumelelo Rial Kunene is an international human rights policy analyst who consults on policies and procedures related to human rights compliance. She is a highly sought-after, energetic, certified Lace Brown international speaker. This passionate leader holds a PhD with a discipline in leadership and business. Dr. Rial N. Kunene is the author and host to Rise to Greater Heights, a book and YouTube channel to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. She is also a coach, mentor, and an MC, well known for encouraging many to rise from mediocrity into greatness. Her vision is not only to motivate, but also to empower audiences with a fresh perspective inspiration they require to pursue success and drive sustainable outcomes. In a seriously funny way, Dr. Kunene is an award-winning author, 10 times #1 Amazon and international best-selling author. Her #1 best-selling book, Rise to Greater Heights, has inspired and empowered many to pursue their personal and professional passion to become go-getters. As a trainer, diplomacy protocol officer, and strategist, Rial believes that we are in full control of our choices. Her mission is to meet the needs and transform lives of her clients and her audience. She is also a true advocate for creating new policies that uphold human rights and prevent human rights violations. Dr. Kunene's purpose is to teach everyone about human rights and help organizations understand and promote human rights. Her goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs, then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. This change maker, trailblazer, and revolutionary is pushing boundaries and creating a real change worldwide. Like a phoenix that never accepted defeat and rose from its own ashes, she wants to challenge you to unleash your greatness and rise to greater heights. Dr. Rial N. Kunene wears many hats. As a professional certified sales manager, CEO, certified travel counselor, publisher, medical esthetician, philanthropist, and a commissioner for oaths, following her dreams gave her purpose to see her goals through and understand that she does have everything she needs to reach her full potential. Her everyday message is that your journey to be a better person starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core will make you understand that you are the only one who can accomplish your dreams. Hebrews 11, Psalms 27 and 40 keeps her to rise to greater heights. The sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Kings and queens, please join me. Welcome, Dr. Rial N. Kunene.
Thank you so much, amazing speakers. Really following after you, I'm like, you've just set the bar high. Stacey started with emotional intelligence. She was like, we must process our own emotions. When we don't, they don't go away. They just bury down in our body, which is going to affect our physical and mental health and lowering our own vibration. And then Dr. Daly on the other side, she shared everything on mental health. She shared on why sleep is so essential for mental health, as well as emotional intelligence. And then Carol on the other side, she was like, sharing from her own experience on mindset, really. She shared on why pessimism is the root of indecision. If you don't decide now, if you have those ideas in your mind but you don't take action, it's going to be nothing. So what I'm going to share on today, I'm going to say, craft your own leadership legacy. Craft your own leadership legacy, because every leader, they embark on a journey not just to achieve success, but to leave a mark that transcends time and organizational boundaries. So the essence of leadership legacy lies in the profound impact that you make, the values that you instill in others, and the vision you leave behind for others to follow. So it's high time, kings and queens, we craft our leadership legacy. But you really don't have to see the whole staircase in life to get to the top. You need to take the first step to get to the top. As my mentor always say, that you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to become great in life. So get started today by crafting your own leadership legacy. So if you're that entrepreneur, maybe who dream of reshaping the world through your business and envision like several extra commas in your bank account, yet you find yourself blocked on your journey to success, trust me, I am the answer. Oh, hi, by the way, I'm Dr. Rial N. Kunene, and I'm not for the timid, but I am the rocket fuel that your business needs to blast past barriers and rise to greater heights. So as your business strategist and optimizer, what I do is that I empower motivated professionals to discover their full potential and then shift them into growth overdrive. So from owning two diverse companies to having experience as a CEO and guiding Fortune 500 companies to helping multi-million-dollar enterprises, I believe that I have a distinctive talent for empowering high-achieving coaches, elite startups, and business leaders to become dominant forces in their industries, because I believe that the sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view. So we are all forced to rise to greater heights. Be the one in charge of your own driver's seat, kings and queens. Be the one in charge of your own driver's seat, because you are the only driver here. You are the one in charge of your own destiny. So be the one in control. So let's explore on how actually one can craft a leadership legacy that resonates as well as last forever. You'll have to first start by defining your core values. I believe Carol touched on that one. So define your core values. Your legacy starts with your core values. So these are the principles that guide your decisions, your actions, your interactions with others, identifying and living by your core values. It sets a foundation for your leadership style and influence, and it influences the culture of your organization. So make your values clear and demonstrate them consistently in every aspect of your work. Choose to define your core values. So it's a wake-up call, kings and queens. It's a wake-up call to define those core values. It's a wake-up call. But when that alarm clock goes off, please don't ever hit the snooze button. Don't be like, I will wake up in the next 2 minutes. I will wake up in the next 4 minutes. You know what? Forever is a long time. Why don't you wake up, get going, and craft that your leadership legacy? Craft your leadership legacy. And another thing that it can help you is also to foster a culture of empowerment. Yes, empower those around you to step up, take risks, and innovate. Encouraging autonomy and providing opportunities for growth, really, it not only propels your team forward, but it also embeds a sense of confidence and ownership across the whole organization. So a leader's legacy is often seen in the success and advancement of their team members. So it's high time you build that culture of empowerment. Kings and queens, you must understand that you can't give from an empty cup. You need to fill up your cup first. And then from the overflow, you're going to be able to share with the world. You're going to be able to empower those around you, those who look at you as an inspiration, but you can't give from an empty cup. So it's high time you fill up your cup first, and then from the overflow, you're going to be able to craft that your leadership legacy. Another thing that you'll have to do in order for you to craft your leadership legacy is that you'll have to invest in relationships. Yes, invest in relationships, because the strength of your relationships, it can define your leadership legacy. Invest time in understanding, mentoring, and connecting with your team on a personal level. You may ask me why. I'm glad you've asked that, because showing genuine interest and care for your own colleagues, for those who are around you, it fosters a loyal and an engaged team, and these relationships often become the most memorable part of your own legacy. So start today. If you haven't started investing in those relationships, invest in those relationships. Another way on how you can actually craft your own leadership legacy is to lead with vision and purpose. Yes, lead with vision and purpose, because a visionary leader sets the direction and inspires others to follow. So clearly articulate your vision for the future and rally your team around a shared purpose. So this sense of direction and mission, really, it not only motivates your team, but it also leaves a lasting impact on what you want to achieve together as a team, because you've decided to lead with vision and purpose. And another point that speaks into my heart the most is to embrace and drive change. Yes, embrace and drive change as a leader. As you are crafting your own leadership legacy, embrace and drive change, because the willingness to embrace and drive change is a hallmark of influential leadership. So by championing innovation and adapting to industrial shifts, you set a precedent for resilience and forward thinking within your own organization. So your leadership legacy, it will be the one of growth, adaptability, and the courage to navigate through the unknown, because you chose to embrace and drive change within your organization. Because your leadership legacy, it is the echo of your own influence. It is the imprint that you leave on your organization and industry. It's about the lives that you touch as a leader, the culture that you cultivate, and the vision that you set forth. So by focusing on your values, empowering others, building those strong relationships around you, and leading with purpose, also embracing change, you are creating a legacy that endures. So as you reflect on the legacy that you wish to leave, remember one thing. Remember that it's the daily actions that you take, the decisions that you make, and the interactions that shape how you are remembered. So kings and queens always strive to make each day a testament to the leader you aspire to be, because as flight attendants always say that put on your oxygen mask first before you assist the person who's sitting next to you, because if you don't, trust me, when that flight goes down, you will definitely go down because you forgot to put on the oxygen mask first to yourself before you even help your spouse, before you help your children. It's high time we get that oxygen mask first by crafting our own leadership legacy, because the reality is your journey to be a better person, it doesn't start with your clients, it doesn't start with your spouse, it doesn't start with your children, but your journey to become a better person, it starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core, it will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach to your full potential. So don't ever give up on your heart's desires. You know what, just recall this just in case you can't find your way, that you can always have the drive within you to become what you really want in life. You can have the drive within you. You know, I am a firm believer of affirmation. So we're going to affirm this together. We're going to affirm this together as if we are taking an oath today. We're going to affirm this together by placing our left hand on our chest, and then we're going to raise our right hand. I just want us to affirm this together, that I can have the drive within me to become what I really want in life. Can you say it one more time as if you have faith in your own powerful voice? And guess what? It will echo throughout the whole universe. Say, I can have the drive within me to become what I really want in life. You know what? Just give yourself a round of applause, because yes, you can have the drive within you to become what you really want to be in life. You can have the drive within you to get where you want to be in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months. The drive is just inside of you. It's not from the outside of you. You know, it's so funny how my mom and dad gave me this beautiful, beautiful name, Nompumelelo. I know many, when they try to say my name, they always butcher my name, but really, Nompumelelo in my own language, it means mother of all success. So you can see that I am really, really challenged to chase after success. No matter what comes my way, I'll have to chase after success. So if I may ask you, how many of you have dreams and goals that you want to achieve? Maybe let me say in the next 6 months. I know myself, I'm one of those. I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on our professional development. So as a coach or as a mentor, like many of us here, my goal is so simple. My goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you might be facing, then design a plan of inspired actions to empower you on specific outcomes that you want to achieve. Really, I so wish that you can just tell yourself that, you know what, all these amazing speakers have shared all the nuggets that you need as an individual to rise to greater heights, starting from emotional intelligence to mental health to mindset. All the skills, all the messages that have been shared by all these amazing speakers, I believe that they resonate with one of you. If not you, continue to share this podcast, because it will land in the right ears and someone's life will be really changed by just you sharing this podcast. So I so wish that you can just tell yourself that, you know what, all these amazing speakers have shared all the nuggets that you really want to hear around how one can rise to greater heights. But in order for you to go out there and make a difference and be the change, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry, like a hungry lion in the jungle. Really, that hungry lion in the jungle, it doesn't matter what kind of animal comes his way. It doesn't matter if you had that giant elephant by the jungle or that small squirrel by the jungle. All that hungry lion sees in front of his face is lunch. Yes, it's lunch. And it's so funny though, because even with elephants, what they do when they see a lion is that they run. It's all about the mindset. Once you believe, you become. They already told themselves that, you know what, I am a lunch to that lion. So each and every time when I see a lion, I'll have to run. I believe that's the lion mindset that we need in order for us to be able to craft our own leadership legacy, because no one ever told the lion that, you know what, you are the king of the jungle. But it's a mindset thing. The way he carries himself, no one told him that you are the king of the jungle. So I believe that's the lion mindset that we need in order for us to be able to craft our own leadership legacy, because I believe that we all rise together, and we rise by lifting each other up. We don't rise by tearing anyone down or maybe stepping over another person to get to the top, but we rise by lifting each other up. And it's so funny, when I was in the eighth grade, I'm going to cut the story short here. When I was in the eighth grade, I was nicknamed Phoenix. I was nicknamed Phoenix after writing a composition using the idiomatic expression that says, I rose from the ashes like a phoenix bird, meaning I became successful again. Really, that English teacher, she didn't know that the nickname Phoenix, it resonates with me. And it also aligns with my destiny. So for those of you who don't know the phoenix bird, the phoenix is a Greek mythological bird believed to rise from its own ashes after being buried like hundreds of years ago. This immortal creature acquires new life by rising from the ashes of its own ancestor, which represents our capacity for vision and success. So I want to encourage you, if you're watching and listening under my voice today, that when your world comes crashing down, wear your scars to show how a phoenix feels like to die from inside, and trust in your own capability to rise from your own ashes, since the phoenix bird has to die, burn, experience pain before resurrection from its own ashes. Please write this down. Write this down in conclusion. Resilience to greatness. Resilience to greatness. And I know you've heard this before, that your setback is your setup for your comeback. Your setback is your setup for your comeback. So if I could be honest with you, I don't know what goals you've set for the next 6 months. I don't know what dreams you have for your own future. But here is one thing I know about you. You are destined for greatness. Inside of you, God has put seeds of excellence. Those seeds are supposed to grow and flourish. But many people have become crippled by their past encounters, and some have stepped over other people to get to the top. But I believe that, God has a better plan for every one of us. Your objective is what you are designed for, and the reason why you live today. With God, I believe that we're all destined for greatness as long as we follow his strategy. This is when the growth commences, because discovering your gift and following God's idea, it will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach your full potential. So my everyday inspiration, Mr. Les Brown, he once said, if you had to die today, at this very moment, at this hour, what dreams, what ideas, what visions, what goals, what skills, what talents, and what books will die with you? And the late Dr. Miles Monroe continues saying that the richest place on this planet is the cemetery, because that's where all the goals, all the visions, all the skills, all the talents have been buried. Honestly, I don't know about you, but with me listening to all these amazing messages, it stirred something within me. And that was when I told myself that I will follow my goals through, which gave me an understanding that I've got everything around me to reach my full potential. So this year, I'm also determined to rise to greater heights with as many motivated individuals who are maybe ready to start, grow, and scale their businesses within 90 days. Perhaps you're that individual who started writing your book and then you were like, you know what? I don't have time for this. I'll do it tomorrow. And that tomorrow never ever came. So I'm here to encourage you that yes, you can still write and publish that #1 bestseller book. And that book is going to continue selling. So I offer a free, no obligation, 30-minute friendly Zoom consultation call, which will kind of allow me to find out more about the issues that you are experiencing, and also to see if you're a perfect fit for any of my programs, because really, I really want individuals who sign up for any of my programs to benefit from my programs. So if you are interested in becoming a public speaker, an author, a coach, maybe an entrepreneur, or you're just that entrepreneur who just want to multiply your income by doing what you truly love, what you're passionate about, and making a real impact out there, I just want to empower you to become a highly effective and inspiring leader with a kind of personalized, measurable, but a scalable program. So go on my website at www.risetogreaterheights.com and book that free consultation call with me, because my ultimate goal really is that you feel extremely confident about your purpose. We'll take it one step at a time, and you are definitely going to transform. So if you give me your why, I'll show you the how. How cool is that? So this consultation, it offers accountability, education, growth, as well as success. You might have to ask yourself, why is she doing this? Why now? Really, I can help because I've been there, I've done that, and I know how it feels like. I remember myself 5 years ago, honestly, I was completely lost in the hustle. I remember I had a ton of ideas, but there was no tried and true strategy to run with my ideas. But it was only when I invested in coaching, and that was when I created my first premium offer, and then things started to change. I built an income generating business, just doing what I truly love, what I'm passionate about, and making a real impact out there. So now it's your turn to build your own wealth, kings and queens. Go on my website because the power is just within you. Go on my website at www.risetogreaterheights.com and book that free consultation call with me, because you know what, growing up I didn't have much in life because my father decided to have an early departure from this planet Earth. And I thank God that I missed that flight because I'm still here. I'm still sharing my message. I'm still impacting as many lives as much as I can because I had everything because of my mama's love. And I love you, love you, love you so much, mom. So I think whosoever say that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Gunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. So at this moment, please feel free to share your final thoughts on how one can rise to greater heights, and also to share your freebie if you have any freebie, and also share with the audience on how they can reach out to you. So Stacy, the stage is yours, Queen.
Yes, you can reach out to me. The easiest way is through my website, www.stacypage.com. On there are all my links to social media. You can see my coaching options, the self-paced courses that I have. I also have lots of freebies. You can sign up. You can sign up for my weekly newsletter, which has a guided meditation. It has a blog with all sorts of tips and tools, and that comes out every week. And you can, of course, email me through there as well, stacy@stacypage.com.
Oh, wow. I believe that our audience will definitely reach out to you. Thank you so much, Stacy. You can go ahead, Dr. Katrina, and share with the audience, please.
Yeah, so find me at skilledsleeper.com. I do have a free workbook called The 7 Steps to Sleeping Well, and you can do that on your own, or there's a webinar that guides through the steps. So join me in that, and sign up for my Substack, which comes out weekly. That's Skilled Sleeper, or find me on social media and check out the courses. If you're struggling with sleep, think about whether investing in a program to help you get the sleep you need would be worth it. So you can find all that at skilledsleeper.com. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Dali. Really, our audience should rush into that website and grab those freebies. And yes, and I hope that they will definitely reach out to you. Thank you so much for being with us. You can go ahead, Carol, and please share with the audience.
Hi, thank you so much. This has been such a wonderful talk, panel, just amazing. And I loved hearing you as well. As I said, you can go to my website at carolpodell.com/unstoppable, and you can find the From Stuck to Unstoppable with my 5 strategies, and it's a workbook, so it has prompts at the end to ask major questions around to try to help you with your core values, to create an authentic tribe, your transferable skills, how to get into action, and then the most important mindset you can do, in my opinion, is the relentless optimism. Please go download it. I would love to share it with you. Feel free to, you can find me all over social media on Instagram and Facebook at Carol Podell. You can obviously go to my website. You can contact me at info@carolpodell.com. I do a clarity call, a 30-minute clarity call I'd love to offer your audience for free. Please feel free. You can go to my website, and you can find that on my website under contact, and we can book a clarity call. And I have a workshop coming up and various different offers. You can go to my website and find them. But before we do anything, go get the workbook. Just go get it and get started today. Make that decision. So thank you again.
Wow.
Oh, and my podcast. Sorry. And
Yes.
go listen to my podcast. She Takes the Lead. Forgot myself.
Takes the lead on
She Takes the Lead.
all podcast platforms. They will definitely find you, right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Takes the lead. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Carol. I believe that our audience, I don't know what they are waiting for, really. They should go out there and grab that workbook. They should get that workbook. Thank you so much, Carol. I believe that our audience, they will reach out to you. Oh my goodness, it's coming to an end. What a day to our amazing speakers, really. Thank you so much. You know, I know you are all busy, and I apologize ahead of time that we just went up beyond the allocated time, but we appreciate you. We don't take your presence here at Rise to Greater Heights Network for granted. We honor you. I know you're all busy, but for you to be able to spare this moment with us here, we are so humbled, we are so honored. So we just want to say we appreciate you, amazing speakers. Thank you so much. Thank you. And to our audience online, thank you so much for joining us here at Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. I hope from all these amazing messages, from all these amazing speakers, really, you've been inspired, you've been motivated, and you are ready to rise to greater heights. So do join us next week at the same time, same place. Thank you. Merci. Sia Bonga.
Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody set the leg of flames. No, living my life to the fullest, man. Shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights. As long as